Hey guys, Megan, the multifamily realtor here, based out of Edmonton, Alberta. Today I'm going to be going through the market and finding multifamily properties. I have two buyers that pretty much have the same set of criteria, so I'll be finding them here, and then I'm going to do hopefully a quick pro forma on all of them as well, on the ones that I like, so that we can see what the numbers look like. And you can just shadow me. Honestly, I just have this video here to keep myself accountable and to get the work done. So yeah, you can just follow along and hear my commentary. I am going to get some music popping here. Ah, yeah, royalty-free background music. All right, let me get set up. That might be a touch too loud. There we go. And here we go. So something you need to know right off of the bat is most people look for properties through Realtor.ca, which is typically totally fine and probably good in 99% of Canada here. But that being said, Realtor.ca has pulled off all of the multifamily listings, or just all the commercial listings in general. So you can't really find them on here. I think there's a glitch right now where you can still kind of find them. I haven't actually tried yet, so let's try. Filters. Some people have been able to find them. Multifamily. Search. Okay, so somehow I think this is going to be gone. Like a feature that's going to be gone right away, because here in Edmonton we have switched over to a different platform. So if you are noticing that you can't find commercial listings in general for Edmonton here, that's because technically they're not listed there anymore. For some reason, it's sharing information right now with Realtor.ca, but it won't be for much longer. You have to use Moody's. We just switched to this at the beginning of 2026 here. So just go Moody's.CRE. Please put the .CRE, otherwise you're not going to be able to find it. Moody's.CRE right here. Loading. And then here we can just put in Edmonton. Did I not spell that right? There we go. Okay, so it'll bring you to Edmonton. So this is what I call the civilian side of Moody's. So this is open to the public. You can search this yourself. Now, for me, even though I'm licensed in commercial, I only stay in multifamily. So that's all I'm looking for. So I'm going to only select multifamily, which are the yellow dots, and for lease doesn't really apply, just for sale. So this is something you can do on your own. You do have additional filters that you could throw in here, existing, proposed, etc. So that's how you guys would find this. My side of Moody's.ca looks like this. I guess Moody's.com. So I'm going to search sale listings. Just like on your side, I'm going to click multifamily for sale. Now, you can see them populating over here on the right-hand side. So all these yellow dots are multifamily listings. Now I need to shave down the criteria so that we are only looking at the applicable stuff. So sale price, my guys are looking at a maximum of 2.5 mil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still have to count the zeros for million. 2.5 mil. And for them, they are looking for brand new ones because they're planning to purchase pre-construction. So I'm going to throw in the year built, and the oldest it could be would be 2025, because we just wrapped up 2025, heading into 2026 here. I'm filming this in February of 2026, by the way. Okay, we got that in there. So that actually shaved it down like super easy. It is good to note as well. Ooh, I should lock in for this. It is good to note as well that the majority of commercial listings aren't on market. So when you hear on market and off market, what I'm showing you here is on market, which means the public can find it. You can find this, you can find these sources. Whereas probably 80% of commercial listings are kept off market. And the only way you can really hear about them is if you know the listing agent or you know the developers. So just keep that in mind. It's good to have contacts. Going back to here, let's take a look. We only have 4, so this should be somewhat easy. We always want to look at the location first. So Elmwood Park, personally, I wouldn't recommend this area for my clients just because it's going to be their first multifamily ever, and both of them are out of province. Both of them are actually in Nova Scotia as well, which is just a coinkydink. So Elmwood Park, that would be a D location. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is my team's website, and we have a really awesome resource where if you go up into investing, I promise this is worth it, our desirability map. So if you look at this here, we broke it down into A, B, C, D areas, and we have color coded them. So just to go through this super quickly so we can get back to the buyer connecting, is the black sections, these are like industrial, so we don't really count this. Yeah, there's just nothing really there for us. What we have here is the red locations are A. If you click each section, there is information on the left-hand side on what you need to know: appreciation, cash flow, investment potential, our thoughts, and just a general description of that area, because not all areas are the same, even though they're A, B, C, Ds alike. So basically what we have is the A locations, you are going to have a higher purchase price and you can expect lower cash flow. Now in commercial, it's a little bit different because you can't finance a property unless it cash flows enough because of the DSCR requirements. But just in general, what you can expect is the purchase prices are going to be higher because the dirt is more expensive in this area. You're right by the University of Alberta. This is primo location. So your cash flow is going to be less. But on the other side, you're going to have great tenants. If you look over here, higher income professionals, families, retirees, etc. Whereas if we flip to the opposite, which would be a D location, this is the Elmwood Park that I was just showing you here. So this section here in blue, particularly this and this here, this is where you're going to cash flow the most, hands down, in all of Edmonton. And the reason being is the dirt is the cheapest in this location. So these blue sections are the least desirable parts of the city. I would defend the right-hand side of Victoria Trail here as being a C location instead of a D, but that's getting very, very in-depth. So basically here, dirt is super cheap, so the properties are going to be cheaper, so you're going to cash flow more, but the downside is your appreciation is going to be minimal or volatile because they are developing a lot more in here. And your tenant profile is going to be a lesser quality. So it really depends on what your priority is. Is it cash flow and you don't care about anything else? If so, you should be in this location. If you just want something like that's pretty much bulletproof, but you ought to pay the price for it, then yeah, you can be in these A or B locations. So we have A locations as red, B locations as yellow, C locations as green, and D locations as blue. Okay, getting back to it. Over here, I can get rid of that tab. So that's why I decided, maybe not for that one. Westwood is a good location. I have a buddy who has a 6 unit there. What is going on here? Ooh, we have like this long and skinny thing going on. It's an interior lot. It's cool, they have it like broken a little bit. I can't zoom in for whatever reason. Yeah, they have it like sidestepped. Interesting. I wonder if they have the floor plans. We got the meters. Okay, that's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this? Is this a 6 unit? Probably should have read this. Triplex. Yeah, so this is a 6 unit. My guys are looking for 8 units, but you know what? Fuck it. We'll look at this one too. Why not? Okay, so when I click to view the details, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the purchase price. Where did that go? I'm still getting used to Moody's, obviously. Where did it go? There. I'm going to steal this purchase price. This is Megan's Master Multifamily Proforma. I put this together myself. Okay, so we got the purchase price. We are going to assume 5% down because people would be purchasing this through MLI Select hoping to get 5%. Amortization would be 50 years if they're going through MLI Select as well. If you don't know what MLI Select is, you need to watch my other videos because it's very important in multifamily right now. I'm going to clear out the rest of this blue information here to make sure that I don't forget anything. That's correct, that's correct, that's correct, that's correct, that's correct. Okay, cool. Let's get going. All right, so we put in the purchase price. Now, what do we need for property taxes? Won't be established yet. So if you don't have property taxes, what you're going to do in my multifamily sheet, or you can just search this for yourself. So you can literally just search Edmonton property tax estimator. If you just put the price in, it'll estimate the tax for you. So down here, you can see $11,000 worth of tax. Now, I'm going to assume it's going to be more than that. I'm going to throw in 16 just to be safe. I've seen property tax, this is only a 6 unit though. For 8 units, I've seen property taxes go between 16 to 20,000. This is a 6 unit, so yeah, I'll call it 14,000. Oh, there we go. Jeez, I wasn't even looking at the right number. Okay, cool. I'm gonna copy this number. That seems right to me. Control C. Go back into here for property tax. I'm gonna plug that in. Whoa, okay. Okay, insurance. I just know this from speaking to lenders on these new buildings. It's right around $6,000 for like these 6 and 8 units. Infills. Oops. Repairs and maintenance, it should be very, very low since these are brand new properties, but I'll throw 2% in here just for funsies. Miscellaneous money per year, no, throw $500. Vacancy rate in Edmonton, vacancy rate is typically between 3 and 5%. You can see I actually have like little notes in here for you guys as well. But I'm gonna throw 3% in. Property management fee will be right around 10%. It'll be right around 10 to 12%. Some of the better property managers, actually I only know one that charges 12, but the rest of them are at 10. So we already have that filled in. Now for utilities, you're not going to be paying any utilities because they are all separately metered. Ooh, except you might have to pay for water and sewer. It depends. These buildings have just changed, or MLI Select has just changed the requirements for meters. Separately metered for all utilities right there. Beautiful. Okay. So you will not be paying any of these. So we can get rid of these columns. Hide. Okay, that's clear. Garbage disposal, that's a good question. If it's 6 units, it's around $100 per 2 units, so 100, $300. That seems high. That's very high. Just to give you a little bit more context, on a 10 unit, on a 10 unit I looked at, the garbage was right around on a 10 unit it was around like 250, 275-ish. So I think 300 is being more than conservative. But you know what? We like to run conservative numbers. Snow and lawn maintenance, it's usually $150 a month. Here in Edmonton, it'll be more expensive in the winter, than the summer, because it's more expensive to shovel snow than mow the lawn, I guess. Usually mowing the lawn is like $75. And snow is like 200-ish. You can find it for cheaper as well.
To Alberta's communities.
Oh, so why do I have ads? I pay for Spotify. What are they doing?
More buildings for growing communities.
What the hell?
What does this mean for your property taxes? Learn more about property taxes reimagined at abmunis.ca.
Oh, it's because I'm not logged. I have 2 Spotify accounts. One I don't pay for, one I do. Oopsies. Well, we're going to listen to ads together for this video. You're welcome. Okay, I'm happy with those numbers. I'm going to hide those rows just for presentation. It looks nicer. So the only thing I'm missing here is obviously the rent's collected. How do we find that out? Well, it's actually pretty cool. If you click up here, you can bring you to RentFaster.ca. This is the most common rental website here in Edmonton. So we're going to take the postal code and I'm going to filter this. So I'm going to be looking for main floors that have... How many beds are upstairs? It should be 3. 3 beds, 2.5 baths up, and 1 bed, 1 bath basement. Okay. So a main floor with 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. And we are going to put postal code in. See if we can shape it down to why is it doing that? Fuck, that's annoying. Okay, well, you know what, we're close enough. Our location is right in this westward pocket here. So we will try to match that location. Cool. So this one's like pretty darn close. Let's see if the property is comparable. It should be, because there's a lot of new construction developments in here where to me they all look the same. I don't know why it's taken so long. It's lagging. Yeah, so this will be new construction for sure. I would say this is an exact comparable, probably. Oh, look at that! It's literally the exact same with the same side step and everything. I wonder if this is the building. 12327. No way. No, it's not, but it's super close. Maybe it's the same developer. Let me get rid of these tabs, sorry. Okie dokie. So we should have 3 bedrooms. Laundry and suite, that's the same. Ooh, this one has air conditioning. Nice. Are utilities included? 1 spot per unit. Mm-hmm. 3 bed, 2.5 bath AC. And then they're doing utilities on top. Okay, so that would be the same, because if we were to buy this property, the tenants would pay rent plus their own utilities on top, since they all have their own meters. So since these are like super duper comparable, I'd feel comfortable. 1850. Again, that's probably just a second unit in the same building. 1880, main floor. Three bedrooms, 1880, utilities not included. Okay, that's apples to apples. 3 beds, 2.5 baths. Utilities, these guys are collecting $350 a month on top of rent. Mm-hmm. 2,000. This is probably including utilities. Let's test me. Not included. See description. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Where are the utilities? See description. Mm-hmm. Cutting edge science. Ooh. Professionally landscaped yard. Rent plus a fixed cost of $400 for power, heat, water, sewer, waste. Yeah, so that's all of your utilities. So since we like to run conservative numbers, well, we see people that are trying to get right around 2,000 plus utilities. No, I'd rather just be safe and go on the lower end of 1,850. Just like houses, you can list it for whatever price you want, but that doesn't mean it's going to be sold at that amount. So I'm going to say that there are 1,850. 3 of them at 1,850, because all the main floors will be the same. Let me just fill that in here. Now we're going to look at basements. 1 bed, 1 bath basements. There should also be a bunch of these. My computer's lagging so bad. Jesus, are you seeing that? Oh, this is painful. Basement. Unclick main floor. I'm trying, guys. Oh my god, this is painful. Jesus, maybe I'll just reload the site. Basement, 1 bed, 1 bath. Television is not included. Why is it doing that? Okay, basement, 1 bed, 1 bath. Yes. We have our postal code in there. Let's zoom in on Westwood. This is probably the same building that we just looked at. Okay, so even just skimming this, see between 850 and 1250. And a lot of them pushing that 12. Without even looking too deep. Oh, that's such a cute photo. Good for them for marketing. That caught my eye. A little kiddo. Oh my god, this is painful. 1 bed, 1 bath. I wonder if these are including utilities. Yeah, utilities are included. Okay. Heat, electricity, water. That's all of the utilities. Oof. 1045. The life of a realtor. That's a really small kitchen. I don't know if I like that. Not included for utilities. Most of these units, these 1-bed units, will be right around 500 square feet. Almost all of them. I'm going to call the basements 900. 50 bucks above 850, so 900 not including utilities. I feel like that's quite safe. Okay, we're gonna do 900 times 3. So wait, we don't need these rows. Hide those so it looks nice and tidy. Okay, so we have our income there. Why isn't this working? I'm playing with my sheet too much. C4. So we have a total of 8,250 coming in every month. That is not included what is being collected for utilities because the tenant pays for utilities. That's not yours to pay for. So if we're looking at this at the purchase price of 1.63, yep, that's correct. If we only put 5% down at a 4.5% interest rate, 50-year AM, you're paying 12 times a year. This does not cash flow. Yikes. Monthly, that makes sense. That makes sense. Utilities, we don't pay those. Garbage disposal, even if I knocked off $50 because garbage disposal I cranked up here, that still wouldn't make a difference. Lawn and snow service, yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Property tax, accurate. Insurance, accurate. Property management fee, accurate. Repairs and maintenance, realistically you shouldn't have repairs and maintenance on this brand new building because it's under warranty, but it's good to budget for just in case because your lenders will budget for it. And I just threw $500 a year in there just for fun. So this does not cash flow. Now what this looks like is you'll still be able to purchase this through MLI Select, but it won't be for 5% down. Let's play with the percent down. Ooh, the reason why you won't be able to get it for 5% down is strictly because of the DSCR, also known as DCR. This is basically how much of a cash flow cushion do you have after you've paid the bank their payments. So this is saying when the DCR is 1, that means you're breaking even. You're making just enough to pay the bank their payments. So this is saying like you're in a negative with the DCR here. So in order to qualify for MLI Select, you have to have at least a DSCR or a DCR of 1.1. So there's things we can play with here, which would be the purchase price. You can also play with the down payment. You could also play with the amortization if you wanted, but I'm assuming that we're going to target the purchase price so we can save you money. So rather than offering 1.63, I don't know, let's just see 1.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So we're almost hitting a DCR of 1, but we need 1.1. Still not enough. 10% down. Total loan amount. Wait a second. I just made this sheet. Annual loan amount, correct. Payment amount, correct. Yes. Total interest paid. Total paid. This is what they don't tell you about with 50-year amortization, is look at that. Look at that. You buy it for, let's say, 1.5. You pay 2 mil just in interest. God damn. I don't think this property works. Fun fact, you can actually get your closing costs figured out down here too. DCR. Okay, so it would work at 1.3, which you are obviously not getting without pissing off the builder. Yeah, so even if you got it at 1.3, if you only put 5% down, you still wouldn't be cutting that 1.1. Ah. So yeah, so what this means is, let's go back to the purchase price, because most of you, I doubt there's a builder that's going to be willing to knock off 330k. Control C, or 130. So if you're looking at this, basically what you do is just keep playing with the amount down until you hit that 1.1. Still no. Still no. God damn it. That's a touch high. Okay, so the abs. What the fuck? How does this make sense? How can we in the positive be in the negative? Monthly cash flow would be your payment amount, subtract your monthly NOI. So on month to month you would be negative, but overall your DCR would be 1.1. Now obviously you could finance this through MLI Select, but you would only get 75% LTV, based on my calculations at least, which wouldn't make sense to purchase through MLI Select. You may as well just go through MLI Standard. I'll show you here. So everybody wants MLI Select because you can get up to 95% LTV, and everybody wants to stretch their dollar. But if you go into MLI Standard, which is this one, then they offer up to 85% LTV and up to 40 years of amortization. Maximum loan to value. What's their DCR requirements? Lower debt coverage ratios. I think it's 1.2. Off the top of my head. Yeah, so 1.2. So you'd need at least 1.2 DCR. Wait, what? Residential space up to 1.1. Interesting. Shit. The other way you could go with financing, I thought it was 1.2. The other way you could go for financing is just a conventional loan, which would be 25% down. So you could purchase this through conventional, no problem, but through MLI Select, probably doesn't make sense. Going back here. Yeah, your cap rate's only at 4.15. This is not an option. Unless you're willing to put 25% down. You manage to get $330K off of the purchase price. So this one, it doesn't work. Yes, I could play with the income numbers, but I just want to err on the side of caution. I don't want to inflate those numbers because then my clients pay the price and I don't want that for them. So that one's a no. Let's look over in Grosvenor. We like Grosvenor. Grosvenor is a good area. This is our price. Is there any pictures? Nada. That's okay. I don't need pictures. Throwing the price down here. We're going to want it for 5%. 50-year AM as well. Clear out these rents. Insurance will be the same. Property tax will be different because the price is different. Estimate tax. Yeah, so you see you're right around that 16K mark still. Okay, insurance, I'll stand by that. I stand by that. I stand by that. I stand by that. I stand by that. So just these rents that we gotta figure out here. We have everything else filled out. Okay, we're going to take a look. It should be 3.5 up and 1 bed, 1 bath down. Ooh, the middle unit basement includes 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath, and a bar. This is also a triplex. The 2 unit legal basement suites Feature 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath and kitchen. The middle legal unit basement suites include 2 bedroom. Okay, so they're all 2 bedroom basements. We like that. We like having more bedrooms. Upper levels are 3 beds and 2 baths. Okay. So we're going to hop back over to our favorite legging site at the moment. We can start with the basements first. And we're just going to bump this up to 2 beds. It is nice music. Just make sure we got 2 bed, 1 bath basements. 2 bed, 1 bath basements. Okay, now we're gonna head over to Grosvenor on a map here. Grosvenor. Load. I know there are comparables here. There's so much new development in the West End. The West End is the hotspot for infills, for sure. It's when it first started, and it's still going. Give me the comps. Oh my god, this is painful. That'll help. Search. Interesting. We're gonna pull from... Oh, there we go. Okay, we do have something here closer. 1500. Does that include or exclude utilities? Ooh, that's something we should check about the meters if they say anything. I'm gonna assume it's the same as the other one. While this is loading, CMHC came out with a new policy for MLI Select saying that each unit has to have their own water, electrical, and gas meter. Reason being is they think in the future that these buildings are going to be condominiumized, meaning they're going to sell them unit by unit. So you can't do that unless everybody has their own meters for their utilities. You can still get MLI Select funding if the meters aren't separate, but you aren't going to get as high of an LTV, so you're going to have to put more down. I don't know how much more down, but you are going to have to put more down to kind of ease their level of risk, perceived risk that they have. Furniture not included. Rent is $1,500 plus 200 utilities. 1,500. I just need to confirm this is excluding utilities as well. Something to note is a lot of landlords will actually raise the amount that they're collecting for utilities, which I mean, maybe the utilities for the basement is only actually around 150 bucks a month, but they charge 200 bucks a month. Obviously in the winter time, the utilities are going to be more expensive than in the summertime, particularly for heat. So sometimes it will eat that extra spread, but a lot of the times it won't, depending on how much you're charging. 1,500 plus utilities. Okay. 1,600, 1,450. What else we got on the right hand side here? And if you're wondering, average utilities, typically $500 per 2 doors. So like an upstairs and a basement unit, you can budget $500 all in per month for utilities. 2 bed, 1 bath. That area isn't as nice. 1,200. You know what? I'm gonna call it 13. I'll stand by 1,300. I'm not a property manager. Talk to yours if you're writing this up. That's what I'm gonna call it. So 1,300. Now let's find out the main floors. Once again, this is 1,300 plus utilities. I am not marking down on here utility income. I'm pretending like the utilities are billed directly to the tenant, because you technically shouldn't be profiting off of utilities. I just know some landlords that find a way to. Okay, we're gonna switch this over to main floor. It was 3 beds, 1 bath. No, 3 beds, 2 baths. Oh my god. Got this peaceful music to keep me from smashing my computer. It's usually not like this, by the way. I probably just have too many tabs open. Get rid of that. What else can I get rid of? I can get rid of that. Okay, 3 beds, main floor. Oh, we're so close. So close. Three beds, 2 baths, main floor. With the same postal code. Okay, search. No result. Bullshit. There's no way that there's no rental listings for main floor. No way. Maybe because most of them are 2.5 baths? Search. Aha. Okay, yes, I would agree with those prices. I'm assuming both of those exclude utilities. We'll go on the low side, the 1850 over the 1950. Just because we're missing a half bath. Glenwood. So we were over here in Grosvenor, so Glenwood. I just need to double check it doesn't include utilities. It shouldn't. Oh, okay. We're so close, guys. My husband is the patient one, not me. Okay, fuck this. I'm just gonna call it 1850. I know that they're excluding utilities. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. We are not talking about utilities, as I said. We're going to pretend that they're paying that directly. So this one's better off of the bat. Of course, you could play with the purchase price like before. So what this is saying is you're not quite meeting your DCR requirements. So let's play with the price until it does. 1.69. No, let's do 1.6. Almost. That would work. 1.69. Fuck, that's brutal. Yeah, that's the 1.52 is going to be the most you can pay for this place. If you're trying to go through MLI Select and only get 5% down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sharks. Yeah, that's the most you could play. Most you could pay. 1.7 basically. 180k off you'd need. Fuck me. It's still month to month. How is this NOI? If your monthly NOI is pretty much 6k, your payment amount is pretty much 6k. Oh, that's because you're like barely covering that. Oh, that's why it's pulling from the annual. That's why. Okay, so this is just times 12 of this one over here. That's why the DCR is still in a positive, not break even, is because your DCR is measured on annual NOI and annual payments to the bank. Whereas I was looking on it on a month-to-month basis. So annually, you'll still profit this much. Fuck. What is with my sheet? That isn't right. Should be that times 12. Good thing I get to work out these kinks with you guys. Okay, this doesn't make sense to me. Your NOI, which does not include your debt service, is $6,000. 80 grand. Here we go. Okay. So your NOI annually, we'll call that 80 grand. That's pretty close to 80 grand clean. And your annual loan amount, 72. That's why you're able to see the profit on the annual. I don't like that though. Oh, it makes me feel nervous, even at 1.52. The only way we could pump this up is by adding in flat utilities and taking that spread. You could also rent these out room by room to get more cash flow. You couldn't Airbnb if you're going through MLI Select, sorry. You put 10% down? That's better, but you're still at like a ton of money off. Oof. 15% down. Yeah, so you could buy this at purchase price through MLI Standard with 15% down. People will go through MLI Standard if they don't want to be held to the affordability commitment that you have to make, meaning through MLI Select a certain amount of your units should be counted as affordable in order to score points in that category. But if you're not using MLI Select and you're just going to MLI Standard, there is no commitment of affordability. So you don't have to worry about that. Con is you have to put more money down. So this one to me, it only makes sense if you're going through MLI Standard. Ads. That's not a keeper. Okay, we'll look at the last one here. 2.2, this should be an 8 unit at 2.2. How much were these? 1.7. Yeah, like most 6 units are right around 1.7. If you're wondering how these properties worked financially beforehand, well, the rent rates were a bit higher before. Because we have been building so many of these, the rent rates have gone down, which is the whole purpose of MLI Select, is to make things more affordable. So keep that in mind. If you're getting 95% LTV, that's great that you get that much leverage. But if your rents drop and you're not hitting your DCR, then once a year when your lender checks in on your finances, if they see that you're not hitting your DCR requirements, they can essentially force you to do a cash call saying, hey, we know you have 5% down and you've been making payments, but we need to have at least 10% equity or something like that. The number's up to them. In order for them to feel comfortable, just like what we're doing here, playing with the amount down until we hit our proper DCR that we're comfortable with, that MLI Select needs, the lenders will do this as well. Okay, so 2.2, which is the purchase price to the asking price, 5% down, 50-year AM, yeah. I will update this, it'll be a little bit more. 20? Aha, 21! 21. Control C. Almost always 8 units will cash flow better than 6 units. Of course, it'll depend on the property, but you can just assume 8 units will cash flow more. More units, more income. Okay. Once again, we're pretending that utilities aren't part of the equation. Garbage disposal, I think that's a bit high. Lawn and snow removal, this is good to know too, is that a lot of the times you don't actually pay somebody else to do lawn and snow removal. A lot of the times you just make it one of the tenant's responsibilities. Or a lot of landlords will knock off like $100 off of the best tenant's rent, the one that they trust to actually mow and shovel. I stand by that. Yep. Okay, so once again, it's just down to the rents. Should be quite similar. But you know, let's take a look. We don't want to assume. So they have an NOI of 97. Let's see what we come up with. fuck, it's only a 7 unit. I don't know if this will work. Parkview is a very nice community. I will agree with that. Parkview is very, very nice. 3 up and 3 down, plus 1 garage suite. Oh. Lower units are 2 beds, 1 bath. We like that. Garage suite is 2 bed, 1 bath. 3 single detached garages. Ooh, that's nice. I don't think it actually says what the main floor units are. Oh, 3 beds, 2.5 baths. I'm just blind. Okay, 3 beds, 2.5 baths. It's gonna take forever. So what we're looking at right now is Parkview. We're looking at single family, I know, but that's because there's hardly any information in commercial, and we're just using this as a comparison tool. Grosvenor. Do I not know how to spell Grosvenor? Good family. So these are the last 2 that we just looked at. Or Parkview is what we're looking at right now. So you can see, like, Parkview is historically better than Grosvenor. This is the past 20 years of information, so not all of that is applicable, but you can see historically Parkview is better than Grosvenor. Grosvenor's great too, but Parkview's just like bougie. I just went there while this was loading. Did it work? Is that my right? No, I gotta wrap this up. I have a client that wants to write an offer. That's right, OA5. OA5, yeah. Okay, main floor, 3 beds, 2.5 baths. Search. Aha, okay. Really? There's no comps within? So this one, since we got no comps there, I'm gonna just inflate the other ones a little bit. I'm gonna throw 1950. Do it 1950. I'm gonna do 1975. This is me just guesstimating because I don't have proper comps I can pull from. This here originally was 2 bed, 1 bath basements, and we have 2 bed, 1 bath basements. I'm gonna throw an extra $100 on here. Just cause. I think this is like pretty safe to say. Like very safe to say. fuck? Oh, I'm forgetting the garage suite. Uh-huh. Showing me. The garage suite was a 2-bed, 1-bath, right? Yeah, 2-bed, 1-bath. There's a garage suite button. Awesome. Garage suites typically will fetch more than main floors, like if it's equal beds and baths, because garage suites, you don't share walls with anybody. It's kind of like your own structure. You just share kind of underneath you. Obviously cars will be parking, but you don't have any neighbors really. Oh god, you can tell I'm getting tired. My cheeks are getting red. I'll just finish this job, Megan. Okay, garage suite with 2 beds. I got 2 out of the 3 criteria entered. Wait. Okay. Oh my god. Awesome. Usually works right after it asks me to wait. I would say Park Allen would probably be comparable. Nah, Pleasant. No, the other one will still be. Parkview will still be nicer. But let's see. Very close to just Grosvenor. It's Parkview. Ooh, okay, we got some answers here. Oh, fuck, I spoke too soon. What did I do? Okay, I'm not gonna fuck around with this much more. 1680. I would say that's definitely gonna be a lot closer. I just need to confirm that doesn't include utilities. It shouldn't include utilities, but and I'm gonna throw an extra $100 on there. Maybe you could throw an extra 150 for the location, but I'd rather just be safe. 2-bed, 1-bath garage suite. Sweet. Utilities included. Ooh, water, electricity, heat, internet. Interesting. Really? Oh, I guess it's only 2 beds. 1680, including utilities. Well, utilities will be right around $250. $1,400. 15. I'm gonna call it $1,550, excluding utilities. And you're right, this is not an exact science. And she should be blue. Okay. Hmm. 2.2. Payment amount 105. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If your NOI is 99 and you owe 105 a year, like 6K annually under. Is there something I'm missing? This is why you don't trust other people's numbers, and you shouldn't be trusting mine either. This property is projected to generate 149 in gross rent. I'm close. I'm at 140. Let's just say shits and giggles. I'm gonna add, well, what's 9K divided by 12? 9 divided by 12. Oh. Oh my god. Equals 9 divided by 12. 0.75. Be $750. So they have an extra $750 a month coming in. Yeah, because now we're at 149 like them. What? We have the same NOI. Now, what did they have for their expenses? Real estate taxes, $3,000. Oh, that's for the house that used to be there. I know Peter. He's cool. I'm actually pending with him. Oh, fuck. On a different property right now. They have $46,000 of expenses. What do we have? I have less expenses than they do. That's so weird. Okay, even if we pretend that their rights or their rents are better than mine, because mine were like very, very reasonable. Maybe theirs is like pushing it up a little bit. But even with theirs, still doesn't work at 2.2. Not even at 2.1. Maybe we should put 7% down. So close. I should change this to equals annual NOI subtract annual loan amount. There we go. She tight. Yeah, so I mean, I doubt you're gonna get 100K off. I think that like 2.1 wouldn't be like crazy good deal. I think that'd still be a fair price for it. I just doubt that the developers are gonna drop 100K until like the market really starts turning in the buyer's favor. But let's say that you did buy this for 2.2, which, you know, yeah, I don't know, I think that's a bit much. Yeah, we'll leave that interest at 4.5. Maybe if we put 10% down. I don't need to put 13. I know that most investors, they're going to be looking at the monthly cash flow. I know, but the lenders are going to be looking at the annual. They're going to be looking at the annuals. Yeah, so you could get this one through MLI Select, but you wouldn't get 5% down. You'd only get 88% down, or sorry, 88% LTV. You'd have to put 12% down. Damn. So yeah, I don't really like that option either. Keep in mind, these are on market properties and a lot of them are off market that sell quicker. So, all right, guys, I am going to sign off. Thank you very much for spending time with me and getting that done. I'm not going to forward any of those properties over to my buyers because both of those buyers are going to want to stress test the properties, and even just my stress test didn't make me happy, so why send them junk? Well, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful night because it's nighttime for me. Bye for now.